Hi, I'm Elle. I'm married to Josh. We've been part of Glenwood for about 5 years. 2 of those years were actually spent in South Africa, working in a rural community there. I'm a doctor and Josh is a teacher. We came back from South Africa beginning of 2018. We were glad to come back to Glenwood, and I started my training to become a GP. So just for some context, GP training is split into 2 parts. The first part is spent doing different hospital placements, and then you move into the second part, which is in general practices. So I had done the first part of my GP training and then went off on maternity leave. We had a little boy called Solomon, who's just turned 1 this week. So I was actually due to go back to general practice in May, and we had some grand plans to go to South Africa to visit our friends and for our very good friend's wedding at the end of my maternity leave in April. Unfortunately, this didn't quite pan out the way we thought. About 2 weeks before we were due to go, everything went into lockdown. So we realised that wasn't going to happen. As I said, Josh is a teacher, so he was able then to be more at home to help look after Sol. So we decided as a family that I would like to see if I could help with the COVID crisis in what way that I could. So actually I've worked quite a lot in A&E before, in different A&E departments. So I phoned A&E at the Heath on a Friday afternoon and just said, I'm available, I can come back early from my maternity leave if you want me. And they did. So that was Friday afternoon. By Monday morning, I was working in A&E. And I worked there for about 7 weeks before going back to general practice. So it wasn't really the gentle return to work after maternity leave that I had expected. Sort of being thrown back into A&E. So yeah, in terms of challenges, as I said, working in A&E brought quite a lot of challenges. It was quite different to when I worked in there before. If you turn up at A&E now, you're asked straight away, do you have any symptoms of COVID? And if you do, then you are directed to the COVID area. And if you don't, then you go to the non-COVID area. The non-COVID area was actually quite quiet because people are really reluctant to come to hospital at the moment. But the COVID area became very busy and at times quite stressful to work in. I think one of the main challenges is working in the PPE, which is, full PPE, is very hot. Because of the shortages, they're not keen for you sort of to go into the COVID area and then come out and then go back in, because then you're wasting PPE. So when you go in, you stay there for maybe 5-6 hours. So it's quite hot, and then if you have an itch on your face, it's very frustrating because you can't scratch your face. One of the things I found most challenging was that the patients come in by themselves and are absolutely terrified to come into hospital, especially if they think they might have COVID. And as a doctor, you're wearing, normally I would be there to comfort them and to reassure them, but that's very hard to do when you're wearing a mask and a visor. Even just making yourself heard can be very difficult, especially if there's a language barrier or hard of hearing. So I found it very challenging to care for these patients in the way that I wanted to do. So from a positive point of view, there's actually been a lot of positive things to talk about. In all honesty, the kindness shown in so many different levels, from the public to NHS staff. I think every shift that I worked, the members of the public were bringing in food for us and refreshments, so we never felt so well looked after. Kindness between the staff really felt like a team, like we were looking out for each other, that we are looking out for each other. And kindness shown to the patients. I saw so many examples of staff caring for patients in such a Christ-like way, Christian or not. People just going above and beyond to try and comfort people in this distressing time.